Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Kairos. Today I want to talk to you about single-minded fury. To get into it, the thing with this spec is you are generating so much rage and resources that you, even with a low haste count, you're going to be generating a pile of rage. So to get into it, basically, two hand, one hand, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter. You're basically, all these talents here, these are basically, you must choose these no matter what. Fresh meat, it's always going to keep you enraged. For the first target you're going to hit or a new target, depending on who you swap to, improved enrage, 15% more haste, 10% more movement speed. Execute doesn't cost rage, sudden death, pretty straightforward. Rage regen. You could probably lose that. I'm kidding, but because to spec into Rampage, you need to choose Enrage regen. But invigorating rage makes Enrage regen last 3 seconds longer and instantly heals you for 20% of your maximum health instantly. Makes it last 3 seconds longer. It's up from 8 to 11. Rampage, pretty straightforward. War Paint is always necessary to take. You take 10% reduced damage, doesn't matter what it is, magic, physical. It's just 10% less damage on you. Frenzy, this did get nerfed. It's still the same stats, but if you Rampage on your target, you lose the effect. Recklessness increases haste by 2%, enraging blow generation an additional 2%, and Annihilator generates an additional 2% rage. This works very well with the build we're running. Anyway, into the single-minded tree, because you got like different parts of the tree that go into either two-hand or one-hand over here, with very similar things that either complement one or the other. But to get into the one-hand, Odin's Fury is weird. With either two-hand or one-hand, it's kind of weird. It should be more down here. I feel like these two talents should be changed, or up here. I don't really know. I'm not a designer, but that's just how I feel when you're selecting through the talents. While Enrage, your auto attacks no longer miss. Okay. Cold Steel Hot Blood gives you a leech effect on the target. Basically, with this build, it replaces Battle Trance and makes it baseline in PvE and PvP. And choosing Bloodborne increases the damage of that by 20%. Very good. It's basically like having a permanent rend on the target. Vicious Contempt, I'm not really so sure of yet. And my reason for that is just because if it was below 50, it'd be better. 35 is still very low. I mean, of course, it could just be just that crazy. I'm not really sure yet, but to get into it, Single-Minded Fury, increase your damage with one-handed weapons by 5%, increase your movement speed. So now we're up at 15% increased movement speed. I would choose this too, but I'm not really sure. 5% is not a whole lot. But when you start combining, I guess 20% is pretty good, but just for what I have right now, it's not that really. I just wanted to see how many damage talents I could get into before I got really crazy into movement speed. But these just kind of go into everything falling down line. Depth experience, master increased by 2%, 2% damage increase, blood thirst reduced by 1.5 seconds. So, going to this, increase the roll-in damage by 70% and reduces cooldown by 7, or increases the cooldown to 7 seconds. With haste being enraged, that lowers it slightly. Slam is the same thing, 12 seconds. Generates 10 rage, but deals 100% increased damage. Makes Slam pretty wild. But this is the defining thing for it in between Odin's Fury and this talent in Avatar. And basically, Annihilator. Now, auto attacks deal an additional X amount of damage and generate 4 rage. Works very well with Sir Strikes. So basically it's 6. Then you throw in this, and you're looking at more rage. But looking into Odin's Fury. Odin's Fury generates X amount, 15 rage, does X amount of damage. But Dancing Blades is what defines this spec. This is what Single-Minded Fury is going to be completely insane and will make your burst huge, especially on low-value armor targets. Basically, at the start of the expansion, you're going to be lacking in haste, a lot of other stats. That's where Fury lacks, but this build is going to make Fury's damage overwhelmingly insane. Because I'm thinking about, personally for myself, for my warrior, trying a crit build for Fury. Because all these talents, they generate a pile of rage, they increase your weapon, your speed, your attack speed by X amount. So you have this on a pretty short cooldown, 45-second cooldown. With Avatar, you basically get 20 seconds, and you wait about a couple more seconds, you get another 10. So basically, you pretty much have this up good, I would say, a third of the time. So basically, going into that, you have all this damage in this section that buffs all your damage. This is more of the cleaving and everything else. This is more of a single-minded Fury, attacking one target. You can cleave a fair amount with this. I feel if you spec'd out of this and you went into Cruelty, of course, it's a placeholder talent to go down into Improve Whirlwind, increases Whirlwind by quite a bit, because your 4 next attacks, the ability to hit for 4 times, but I feel like with Single-Minded, Meat Cleaver can be good, because it makes your next 4 instead of 2 attacks also extend out, but you're not always going to be cleaving. People are going to be running around going crazy. It's probably the best into cleaves, but still, it's like I could see losing this here and going into here into getting Anger Management and or Reckless Abandon, depending on how those scale and what it looks like over a course of a 1 to 2 minute game, probably longer. I'm not really sure. It could be really good with this build. Reckless Abandon could be the go-to. But to go into the normal warrior tree and see that all these talents that synergize so well with the talents that I've selected, with what's available within the points that I have at level 67, Impending Victory, it's 40% on live. It'll be knocked down. It's going to nerf 25%. Unfortunate, but you have so much more sustain with Fury now, because now you're not locked into Battle Trance, or not Battle Trance, Enduring Rage, because now you're enraged all the time. You're basically always enraged. So that's not an issue anymore. Going down into Impending Victory, Berserker Rage, Berserker Shout, which frees up your allies. Frothing Berserker, kind of hit or miss in my opinion, until you get more stats. Down the line of the patch in the expansion, Crushing Force. Slam deals an additional 60%, another additional 60% damage, and increases the crit chance of Slam. You go over here to Barbaric Training. Slam and Whirlwind deal 20% increased damage. And when Slam crits, it deals 10% more critical strike damage. Same goes for Whirlwind. But you're getting that increased crit chance from that ability. This is another one. Sidearm. Your auto attacks have a 20% chance to hurl a weapon at your target and 3 other enemies in front of you, dealing an additional X amount of damage. Just by that, you do a ton of damage. Heroic Leap. Kyrian Pot with a different name, better immunity, gets rid of all diseases, poisons, and curses affecting you. It doesn't remove bleeds. I think it did before. I can't remember. Double time. Warbringer helps you stick to the target. Very, very good. Moving forward. Increases your dual wield damage by 5%. This is Wild Strikes. Haste increased by 2. And your auto attack critical strikes increase your auto attack speed by 20% for 10 seconds. this defines the spec with Odin's Fury and Avatar. Avatar, everybody knows what Avatar is. If you're playing Warrior, increases your damage 20%. Lasts for 20 seconds, removes all snares, roots, everything, generates a bit of rage. Titan's Torment, activating Avatar, casts Odin's Fury, and casts Avatar. It's or Avatar or Odin's Fury, depending on what you cast. But and I don't know if they'll change this, because it's supposed to be at reduced effectiveness, but when I cast Odin's Fury, I get a few seconds of Avatar. That's not really the whole point. It gets you out of a root, though. So if I get rooted, I can press Odin's Fury when I'm bursting. Oh, they root me again. I pop Avatar. But you notice Dancing Blades lasts for 20 seconds. That's 30% increased auto attack damage. And speed for 10 seconds. And you get 2 charges of it. Now, when those 20 seconds are gone, you have that back up in about 15 seconds. Or a little bit less, depending on how and when you pop it. That is definitely a buff to keep track of, because if you're training someone, your rage is pretty explosive. So if we go into this, I'm going to go ahead and pop all my cooldowns. Odin's Fury. Oh, Rampage. 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 Mind you, I am popping Recklessness. But even after all that stuff falls off, I'm still generating an absolutely ton of rage. I don't have 2 one-handers, so it's probably even better than that. I haven't tested it yet. You can start to see where being enraged like this all the time is kind of nuts. You just see the rant. Oh, that's some good auto attacks. Oh, cool. Half the bar just went up. You can see where this is just like, holy crap, so much damage. So yeah, there's probably gonna be a crit build for Fury Warrior. Finally, we get a huge crit build for Fury. It's not gonna be big, huge crits like Arms, but it's gonna be a ton of little crits that are gonna hurt. Like, they're gonna hurt like super bad. It takes like 8%, 12%, but it's gonna be a non-stop flurry. You are a flurry of damage, which is beautiful. It's like Edward Scissorhands, or something like that with the baby. But anyway, you don't need Enduring Rage, even for a 2-hander, because of this talent, Tenderize. It is so good not to be locked into 2 talents, and you only have 1 to mess with. So anyway, I want to make light of this spec. I'm sure other people have on YouTube as well, but I wanted to show you that even a meathead like me can generate an astronomical amount of rage and have a 1-hander heirloom and a 2-hander from Season 3 equipped. Or is that Season... or no, I guess it's the dungeon weapon, but whatever. It still generates a ton of rage, still does a pile of damage. Try Single-Minded Fury. I think you'll enjoy it like I have. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Bye.